So this is part 3 of the White Man and Black Club edition. So I'll try to remember everything this time, or if not, then it might be a part 4 and beyond. And when the clubs open back up, I'll have some news stories to tell, hopefully. But I was talking in previous videos about being in predominantly black strip clubs, and because as we know, the stripping business started in Africa. Beautiful black women walking around bucket naked. And so trying to give a tribute there to the late great Bernie Mac, but I know I didn't come out sounding anything like him, so my bad. On a serious note, I did hear that obviously Bernie Mac didn't have coronavirus or whatever, but I did hear that his death was kind of similar in that he had like pneumonia or something like that, but he had like a weakened immune system or something like that, and so it's kind of how he died, if I read my facts straight. So like I said, very sad. Great shout out, to the great late Bernie Mac, and I've mentioned previously that I do martial arts, and one thing that martial artists hate is when people lie about their rank or what they've done or haven't did or whatever. And just like in the military, if you lie about your rank or what you did at war or something like that. And like when it comes to comedy, it's about, like I said, I can't really call myself a comedian at this time, but it's very frowned upon to steal other people's jokes. Obviously, most anything that I've said has already been said in some way by somebody else. But anytime I bring up a joke that I heard from somebody else or something like that, I like to give them credit for that. So anyway, at the black topless bar that I was talking about one time, a young friend, a good friend of mine, which also unfortunately passed away. So rest in peace for him. But so I don't. Maybe I shouldn't be dogging him out like this. I don't know. But it's all. But one time, like, he put like some change, I guess, in like the stripper's G-string, whatever. So I don't know if he was playing the slot machine or something like that. Oh shit, I know that's fucked up. But we're sitting down at the table, and next thing you know, like, shit's hitting me, and I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Like, why is this girl, like, what is that? Like, why is this girl throwing shit at me? And this dumb motherfucker is like, oh, I put quarters in her, and I'm like, are you serious, dude? Like, that was some fucked up shit, And then speaking of comedians, Tommy Davidson was performing on Fort Hood, and so he went to this club for the after party, and not that he certainly needed my help or not, but I had a good-looking half black Asian co-worker with me, Blasian, I like to call it, whatever, and whatever. Not that he necessarily needed me, but I kind of hooked him up, whatever, and I ended up being kind of, I wish his limo ride, but it was just whatever the fuck car I was driving, it was my friend's bar. I didn't get paid nothing to do it or anything, and I don't think Tommy Davidson gave me a tip or nothing, whatever. But he was doing kind of the white voice and shit, and like making fun of me or making jokes as I was, taking him to the hotel with this good-looking woman and all. And I was like, damn, that's kind of fucked up, man. Like, I guess the thing about it's kind of fucking funny. But then ironically, me and my wife went and saw him again in Vegas, and I think. I don't know if it was a relative or just a friend of his was actually sitting next to us in the audience. And so she was like, hey, you want to go backstage? And we're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, of course, And so, of course, I went back there, and I'm like, yeah, man, like, you remember me? I'm that, that motherfucker that gave you a ride. You were making fun. And I don't know. He probably said he remembered me, but he probably really didn't. But yeah, so that's, and then, and I want to say since then, I've seen him, I think in Dallas, so I've seen Tommy Davidson, at least 3 times in person. So a really good comedian. I always have a good time. And then, this is mostly supposed to be my personal experience, in the clubs, whatever. But another weird moment that we had at one of the clubs that, like, whatever I'd consider a black club, mixed club, hip hop, whatever you want to call it, and a friend of mine had like a Yankees hat, I guess, with the fucking straight bill and shit, and like, he didn't have a cock to the side, or like, I don't know. I guess maybe I don't know all the authentic, like, whatever's supposed to be gang. Like, I don't know. It looked fucking clean to me. Let's put it fucking that way, And so we're trying to get in one of the, like, so to speak, black clubs, and they're like, you can't, and I know that's how some people like to wear their shit, and, so they're like, we can't let you in with your hat on, whatever, like that. And so I'm like, thinking, hey man, like, is your hair fucked up, whatever, like, just take your hat off, or like, if we were white, we'd probably just like crush that shit down or whatever, like, all right, am I good now? But my friend was like, oh, like, fuck no. And I was like, dude, like, what's, and he's like, but like, I can understand them, because that was some fucked up shit for them to, like, especially in, that kind of bar, to discriminate against him, for having his fucking hat bill so straight and whatnot. But what was even more fucked up is he, like that club, they pretty much know me very well, like, I was pretty much a VIP. He's my friend. He still couldn't get in, but even worse, he had actually bounced at the bar before. And so I was like, so y'all let this motherfucker bounce here? You know his character and all that shit, but you still ain't gonna let him in because his hat bill's too fucking straight. So I don't know. So if there's something you can explain to me on that, please do. And then as I mentioned, doing martial arts, but man, the old Club Fusion, which is twice as funny a comedy lounge now. So I don't know, maybe I'll get a chance to perform in there when they open back up. But man, like, like I said, I like to think that I can handle myself, in most situations and whatnot. But man, it used to get crazy in there. Like, I'm talking about getting hit on the top of, like, coming down on the top of my head like a damn chair and shit. And I'm looking up, like, I'm like, damn, even Bruce Leroy, was like, they were shooting arrows at him or some shit, but it was straight at him. This shit wasn't raining down from the top of his head. I'm like, damn, I guess I got to reevaluate my reality-based self-defense, if I'm becoming this motherfucker and shit, like hats, like chairs coming down from the ceiling. I mean, it felt like being punched, stabbed, hit with a stick all at the same time and whatnot. I was like, damn. Another time, this is actually at a white club, but whatever the fuck it's called, the divider thing, like between the, like, double doors. So, we were taking somebody out or whatever, and that shit got broke off or loose from people being hit into it so many times, I guess, whatever. And so I was outside, and that shit hit me in my back. So, and it kind of like cut into my back. So I'm turning around thinking somebody just stabbed me. But then I'm turning around and there's like nobody there, because it's just like the bar is like on the ground. So I'm turning around like, damn, like, I got fucking stabbed by a damn ghost or some shit. Like, what the fuck's going on? And then to realize it was that fucking pole. And, but yeah, Club Fusion used to get pretty crazy. And then at one time they had, like, I think a Irish bar and a cowboy bar, country club, and like a piano or lounge or whatever the fuck kind of bar, and then like a hip hop bar, like all in the same building. And I'm like, damn, like, I wish we could all get along, but like, damn, that shit was a pretty crazy fucking setup and whatnot, And I had friends bouncing there, and those were some crazy times. And then last but not least, City Lights, because I worked for them or whatever, and so they knew me, so there would be a line around the fucking building and shit, and and I'd walk up there, like, I don't know, probably not even a dress code sometimes, and I would just walk past the whole line and get in free and all that kind of shit. And like, I know brothers were looking at me like damn, what the fuck, that we gotta wait in this line, the damn white boy gets to come up there and shit. So I guess there was some of my white privilege there, but like I said, I deal with a lot of shit, working there sometimes. So I think I at least earned the right to get in, for free, whatever. And then Jazzy would have his pork chops and wings, and I don't know, like, they did some seafood shit. I don't know. I don't eat seafood. And then the bread with the fucking parsley or whatever the fuck he put on there. Like, I don't know because I was always drunk. But like, man, that shit was fucking magical, man. Like I miss it. I know he's still got a food truck or some shit somewhere. So I've been craving me some of that. And like I said earlier, like I wouldn't normally be trying to like mess with no brother, you know what I mean, in the black club, even if he's fucking with me, because, like, I knew if I could whoop his ass, I was going to get my ass whooped by, however many it took in there, but one night I was in line, at Jazzy's deal, and I guess I had enough liquor courage that night, I don't know, and, like, somebody was, like, cutting in front of me, and I was like, damn, what are you ordering, the cutting line special? And then, but it was funny, because, whenever Jazzy would see me in line, he'd always be like, hey, what do you want? Pork chops, whatever. And he'd make my shit. And then, so like, they'd all be looking at me like, what the fuck? Like, damn, like, because I'm like, damn, I was the one that ended up getting that damn cutting line special and shit. And then, he would always, like, fuck my name up and then pretty much, like, tell me I didn't know my own name. He's like, hey, he'd be like, appreciate it, Tim. And I'd be like, hey, appreciate it, man. My name's Jimmy. And he'd be like, no, it's not, man. I'm like, all right, hey, call me what you want me as long as you got that hookup. So, appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.